So think of SCI as an open source specification that is created for the tech community, and it's easy to implement SCI. So SCI is basically a score per unit of output. The score can be, for instance, carbon per user, carbon per transaction, or maybe carbon or AI prompt for a generative AI application. And a lower SCI score is better. And to calculate SCI, you first define the software boundary of your application. For instance, what do you want to measure? It can be a web application, cloud application, an AI inference application, open source package, or maybe a database applications. And once you define the boundary, you define the scale. Think of scale as how function unit or how your application scales. For instance, for a credit card company, it can be transactions per second. Uh, B2B application can be number of users. Or for an AI application, it may be prompts per second. And once you have defined the scale, then you go about doing the measurement. And you calculate the SCI score for each of the applications using real world observations or lab based measurements. And finally, you have the SCI number. So from an equation perspective, the SCI equation is quite simple. It's basically energy which is consumed by the hardware, which is running the software application, multiplied by the carbon intensity, which is basically the intensity of the electricity at during that time, plus the embodied emissions of the hardware which is running the application divided by the function unit. And what's unique about SCI is we have made the SCI actionable. SCI score can be reduced by three key levers. So if you follow these practices, you will definitely have a you can reduce the carbon impact of any application. So the first principle is energy efficiency. So basically developing energy efficient software that uses less electricity to perform the same function. The second is around hardware efficiency. Try to use less hardware, physical hardware for same amount of work, and also relying on energy efficient chipsets. Nowadays, a lot of cloud providers, vendors gives you a lot of energy efficient chipsets that can be utilized to lower your carbon emission and increase energy efficiency. And third important point is how basically making applications carbon aware. So think of carbon aware as determining the region where the renewable energy run or during the day or time, right? When you have a clean energy. So doing workload shifting based on region and time, you can lower your carbon emissions. And as part of the foundation, we have developed many such public use cases, right from cloud applications to hardware optimizations on how can you measure the software carbon emission across the stack and lower your emissions.